Hello and welcome to our Food Freedom Project, our very first community call. This call is going to be mainly about just setting expectations for the group, welcoming you in, kind of getting to know each other a little bit. I know we've been doing that. So we're just going to chat a little bit tonight, and then we'll have our calls on Sunday night moving forward, where on Sunday we will actually kind of plan out that whole next week. We'll do that my week at a glance and go over that to really make sure you're setting yourself up for success. At the beginning of the week, we'll troubleshoot. We'll talk about what's been working, what's not working, maybe evaluate your tracker a little bit, and really just make sure that we're making this fit for you. Because the To Be mindset, yes, there's guidelines and principles, but it's not a one size fits all. You're going to figure out how to make those little tips and tweaks that are going to make it really fit for you and where you are in your lifestyle. So welcome to the Food Freedom Project. My name is Patrice Buller, which you all know, and most of you probably in our chatting or even maybe seeing me post, you've heard a little bit about my story, just how over the past couple of months, really, God got a hold of me, finally. I've surrendered my health and fitness to Him plenty of times. I've been in the health and fitness game for like 14 years, but I've been on different sides of the spectrum. I've been super crazy obsessed with it, where I'm obsessing about every single thing I'm putting in my mouth, and obsessing about getting that workout in every single day. But there's also been the other side where I've been like, okay, freedom. And in the name of freedom, I'm like shoving my face with, either too much of things that I shouldn't, or, just not having any type of discipline. And so there is a sweet spot where I really feel like surrendering your health and fitness journey to the Lord and giving Him full reign of it and allowing Him to guide you literally moment by moment in those choices is a really beautiful thing. And for me, He's used the To Be mindset as the tool. To Be mindset can't change, right? It can't change us. Only God can do that, but it is an incredible tool in His hands to be able to, because of the principles. It is very focused on mindset and having a healthy relationship with food and the scale and our bodies and things like that. And so it's just really been neat to watch Him use it to help me with some of the change that I've needed. So we are going to talk about the expectations for this group. So we have switched from Voxer to my Challenge Tracker app, and my quote unquote technologically challenged people, you're probably like, what is going on? But you're doing awesome. Good job. So the My Challenge Tracker app is a great way to kind of get off of the noise of social media, especially for a group like this, where yes, this first week we're kind of doing recap, but we're going to start going deeper next week and really get into things. And so I don't want you to be kind of distracted by social media, go into log and then get all lost and everything else. So I really wanted this to be a focused group. So it's on My Challenge Tracker app. So my expectation is that number one, you surrender your journey to Jesus. Because again, I can't change you. To Be mindset can't change you, but He can and He will if you are willing to literally lay it down and give Him everything. So whether you have already surrendered before, or you think you have, do it again. Do it again, because He is mighty, He is powerful, and He will absolutely bring about that healing. But first, He's got to reveal those areas to you. So ask Him, Lord, what is it that I'm not getting here? Like, where is it that I'm laying it down and picking it back up? And He'll show you, and then He's faithful to walk you through. So surrender it to Him. You can't, do this alone. The second thing is to show up every day in the My Challenge Tracker app. So that can be, just one check-in. So I'm not asking you to share all the things, but know that if you want to, you can. The beautiful thing about what we do is it's not just the tools. So I could give you the To Be mindset, hook you up, and then walk away. But I know that realistically, it's the community, it's the accountability, it's the support that's going to keep people, going. I've seen that with clients that I've worked with. People that plug in get great results. The people that don't, because it's something about, knowing that you have women that are there to cheer you on, to share your struggles and successes and really just walk alongside of you in this. There's something really special about that. And so come into that group as often as you want to. There's no too much. I'm even going to tell you about turning off your notifications just as a way to make sure we're protecting, our priorities, our family and everything like that too, and not having your phone go off all crazy. But it is a great, safe place to come in, share anything and everything, whatever you need for your accountability. So if once a day is good enough for you, awesome, do that. Come in once a day. You can share your Shakeology or your workout or your water, that you got your water in that day, or a photo of the scale, or some meals. I love seeing you guys' meals. There are times where I'm like, what am I about to make for lunch? Well, let me go see what anybody else made recently. And then I make it. It's just so inspiring to see, other people, ideas of what people are eating. I get in the habit of eating the same thing every day. I don't know if you guys are like that, but it's fun to kind of spice it up. And we can do that by utilizing each other. So share your meals. So as long as at least once a day you're coming in, you're sharing, that's going to help me as your coach to be able to hold you accountable. I can look in there because I do check every single day. I check text a group. You see my post go up in the morning, so you will always have a post for me. So I'm asking you to show up every day because I will show up every day. It's a promise. You'll have a post for me in the morning, and then I'm going to love on your posts and comment and stuff on everything every day. So show up once a day. Show me that you're there with me and that you're putting in the effort as well. And then, once a week, I'll be reaching out to you individually and just checking to make sure, see if there's anything that I can do for you. So showing up every day, also on these weekly calls. So tonight is our just little quick, kind of welcome call that we're trying to have as quickly as close to the beginning as possible. And then Sundays, the next 3 Sundays, we'll have Sunday nights at 8:30, which again is a great way to just kickstart that week, to recap the previous week and set ourselves up for the week coming up. So make sure that you make it a point to be on those calls if you can. And then the third thing is, if you're struggling, please reach out. Come into the group. We're all right now kind of sharing our excitement on, woohoo, lost a couple pounds, or, got my water in and I did this awesome meal. But guess what? This is a lifestyle. This is, something where you're going to hit bumps in the road. Maybe you make some choices that you didn't want to make. Hello, we're human. That's going to happen. But use this group as a place to come into and share that, because I can almost promise you that there's somebody else that's going to be struggling with that same thing. So look at it as a way to not only hold yourself accountable, but to encourage somebody else who might be feeling the exact same thing. So yes, share your successes. I want to hear all of that. I celebrate all the things, okay? So we're going to celebrate, but we're also going to encourage each other and make sure that we are coming alongside of each other in the struggle as well, because it's easy to say, oh gosh, I ate 10 cookies last night and I only want to have 1. No, that's for real me. That's where I used to struggle, you guys, with sweets. I'm not even saying that as a joke. God has literally changed me, because sweets were my absolute downfall. I could look at a chocolate chip cookie and in my mind say, just have 1. And that would lead to 3 or 5, to where I'm like, how in the world did I just eat that many cookies, right? You don't know, because it might not necessarily be reflected, in how I look or whatever, but this isn't about necessarily weight. Yes, it's a weight loss program, but for me, my desire for you is literal health. It's health, it's freedom, it's freedom in your mind, all of those things, because Satan's going to try to get to you wherever your weaknesses are. So for me, it's sweets. And then it wasn't just eating the cookies and then waking up the next day and moving on. It's, oh gosh, now I'm feeling guilty about the fact that I ate the cookies. And now I feel like I might as well just, sabotage for the rest of the day. Who cares? It doesn't matter anyway. And just awful lies, about your personal trainer. You know better. What are you doing? So don't think that you're in this alone. And the more you speak to that and you share that, we're going to be able to come with you. And that quote unquote bad day, which there's no bad days, right? They're just decisions, and we learn from it. We grow from it. We move on. That quote unquote bad, meal is going to turn into a day. It's going to turn into a week. It's going to turn into a month. And we're not going to let that happen, because we're in this together. Okay. So number 1 is surrender your journey to Jesus. If you haven't done it, if you have done it, do it again. Number 2 is show up every single day. We'll say Monday through Saturday, because I encourage, my team and just everybody unplug on Sundays, live life, family, everything. So you need at least a day of rest away from social media. So I'm going to encourage that for you, at least 1 day a week, to just get refreshed and recharged for the next week. And so the third thing is, if you're struggling, please share it. Don't struggle by yourself. You are giving me full reign to check in on you and hold you accountable. So I will find you. Literally, I have your addresses. Okay. I will come find you. You're signing up for me to hold you accountable, okay? And each other to hold each other accountable. And it's a beautiful thing. All right, so we're going to recap just a little bit. I know I did a recap in the group, But we're going to recap a little bit, but I'm also going to ask you some questions about how you've been doing with those things. So you had several days of tracking your food and weighing yourself daily and drinking water. Hopefully you're getting into the habit of all that. Eating more veggies, and you might have experienced a little bit of weight loss, which is great. If you haven't, that's okay. Remember, we're thinking long-term here. This is not some quick fix where we're trying to lose a bunch of weight, because we know how that goes. You lose it, and then what happens? You go back to normal life and you gain it all back. We're not doing that. 2 pounds at a time. We're focusing on those little small victories that we're going to celebrate, and then keep looking forward to that next one. And these are lifestyle changes. So if you feel like it's too much to do everything at once, what's that one thing that we can implement? And I guarantee you're going to start seeing results, and then you can add on to that. But this is a lifestyle, long-term here. Okay, so if you haven't started to lose weight yet, that's okay. It's absolutely going to come when you're implementing the principles. So 2 bunnies. Anybody want to unmute themselves and throw the 2 bunnies at me? Let me test you right now. 2 bunnies. Okay, what are they?
Drink 16 ounces before you eat.
So water first. Yep.
Water first.
I see lips moving. I see lips.
Veggies most.
Yep. Water first, veggies most. What's the other 2?
Tracking.
Yeah.
Tracking and
Weighing.
scale. You got it.
Scale.
You pass. All right, so water first. How's that been for everybody? I know drinking a lot of water is something that we know we need to do, but sometimes we don't necessarily do it. So the goal is to drink half your body weight in ounces, and that's more if you are exercising, if maybe you're pregnant or breastfeeding, or if you sweat a lot, or if you wear a lot of clothes and you feel like overheated sometimes. Like, it's basically according to your lifestyle. So starting off with half your body weight per ounces each day. So we like to say 16 ounces before each meal. That's going to get a good amount of that done. The purpose of that is to have your body, your stomach a little bit calmer. I don't know about you, but if I go too long without eating and I'm like super crazy hungry, what do you want to do? It makes you want to like eat all the things. Whereas if you're calm and you're drinking your water, your belly's calm, it's happier, then you're going to eat that meal and not feel like you have to like overeat, right? So that's the goal with water. How's everybody been with getting their water in?
Good.
Good. Yeah.
Has it been an adjustment? Are you okay with? It's been good. That's not a hard one. Good.
It's been an adjustment to add it in, more and to be intentional. But I can see a difference in like not wanting to eat as much. It holds me back. It fills me up.
Good. Good. All right.
I think my biggest adjustment was last week when I started with the water, but this week has been really good. I'm up to now drinking 4 of the bottles, which I would have never said 120 ounces a day, but it's been easy. So yeah.
I love it. And also, oh, hi, cutie. So also, if you're like, oh, I don't love the taste of water, how am I supposed to choke down all this water every day? There are plenty of ways to infuse the water. So you can add fruit into your water. There's water bottles that are like already infusible. I don't know if that's a word, but you can infuse the water in there or just let it sit in there overnight. So fruits, veggies, cucumbers, strawberries, you name it, adding some herbs in there. And so just try to experiment. And as with anything else, the more you do it, the more you're going to get used to it, and it's not going to be as bad. So just do the things, right? Like make them habits, and then it's going to become a little bit easier over time. All right, so veggies most. Is everyone eating more veggies than you feel like you had been? What are you loving? And share. Anybody want to share about veggies?
I'm getting back into the habit of eating more veggies, and so that has been wonderful. Because I'm never mad when I eat vegetables. I just sometimes like it's been a pattern of just eating what was quicker, and so it's like coming back to what I know like satisfies. Has really refreshing.
I love that. Yeah, tonight I had I'll post it in the group, but I made the cauliflower fried rice, and that
Mhm.
was like the majority of my plate. And then for protein, I just did like 2 eggs on top. And you'd be surprised. I think people think veggies and they think, I'm still gonna be really hungry, but they are filling and satisfying if you eat a bigger
Mhm.
amount of them. But we're so trained to think small meals, and that is a way. I'm not saying that's a wrong way. It works really well for some people to eat smaller
Mhm.
meals throughout the day. But for me, when I do that, I'm always hungry. Like I'm always thinking about what's that next meal? What's that next meal? What's that next meal? And mentally for me, it just takes me to a bad place. Like I love the thought of eating a full, satisfying meal and then moving on, not thinking about food until my next meal. And I eat another satisfying, full meal. So the purpose of veggies is to really fill us up on the good stuff, all the nutrients. You can have a bigger volume with less calories because of, the contents of what's in the veggies. So many different ways to experiment, from spaghetti squash, acorn squash, butternut squash. You're going to end up knowing that veggies most, like you're going to end up trying new things that maybe you never thought you would like. You maybe checked off your list, like I wouldn't like this, or you're going to learn new vegetables that you never knew about. But try to find those creative ways and add those accessories. Do not be afraid to add those accessories, the flavors, whatever you need to do to make sure you're getting those veggies in. And again, your taste buds are going to change. When you come off of eating 10 cookies, all the time, like the norm, then you eat a carrot, it's going to taste a little different. But as soon as, you really start to, again, make that the habit, that's what's going to be what you crave. So we will go for that. All right, scale. This was a big one for me. I don't know if it is for you, but the scale was something that I used to use to kind of allow it to define my worth. And if it was a number that I wasn't happy with, it affected my mood that day. Or I would, again, sabotage and be like, well, who cares? I already gained weight. Or do the opposite. I would crazy restrict myself as like a punishment for gaining weight. And so I had a lot to work through when Alana tried to tell me to get on the scale every day. I'm just going to be honest with you. It was something that I used to tell people, throw your scales out. The scale does not matter. It does not matter. But I love the healthy way of looking at it in that it's just a piece of information. It doesn't define you. It doesn't dictate your worth, right? But it's a piece of information. It's going to help us know, connected with our tracker, what worked or didn't work the day before. And so it's just a valuable piece of information that we can use to, help reach our goals. So is that a struggle for anybody else, or are you guys totally fine with that? What do you feel about the scale? Have you been getting on it every day? How often do you find yourself on it?
I have been getting on it every morning, but I had the scale phobia, but I'm looking at it with the open mind this time that I'm not going to let the scale dictate my day, because I was so like that. Like I would have a bad day. So right now, last week it was weird because I think it was all of the new water that I was drinking. So each day I lost a pound, and I'm like, I'm not going to get too excited about that. So this week I was at the same weight for a while, and then this morning I had a gain of 2 pounds, but I wasn't upset. I'm like, okay, there's going to be a reasonable explanation for this. Where in the past I would have just been like, okay, put this to me. I'm not doing this anymore. But I'm going to. It doesn't work. Yeah.
That's good. That's progress right there.
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm.
For what it is, it's just.
Yeah.
Awesome. Keep going. Were you gonna say something, Gabby?
I was going to say I've had to make myself stop and remember to do it first thing in the morning. So I've been leaving like my tracker at the end of the night. I've been putting my tracker in the bathroom so I see it in the morning. Just trying to remember before I just jump into the day. So it's just making that habit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the time of day does matter. So don't get on one day and then get on like the night the next day. It will matter. Even, I know it's being weird, but it's all factual. We all do it. Even getting, things out in the morning will help. I've done that before, even as an experiment. When I get on the scale and then I go to the bathroom and I get on again, and I'm like, how did I lose that much weight? Like, that's insane. So make sure that you're getting on the same time every day. And it's after you've gone to the bathroom. It's the same amount of clothes. So get on with no clothes, right? Just make sure it's consistent, because that little, couple pounds from your clothes or whatever could totally throw it off and mentally kind of take you somewhere that you don't have to go. So make sure you're being consistent with it. And again, just as quickly as you lost that 2 pounds and maybe gain them again, you're going to lose them again. And then you're going to continue to go because, you know, so many things affect the scale, whether it's that time of month or how much sodium we had the day before, or, you know, so many things affect it. So again, use it as a scale, but make sure you, as a measure, but make sure you write it down, okay? Because you're going to eventually, that's why this is an overtime thing. It's not a 1 week thing. Over time, you're going to see some trends. You're going to be able to say, okay, yep, this was that time of the month. And this is typically how much I gained around that time. So when that next month comes, you're not surprised when you see that you're retaining a little bit of water that, you know, during that week and things like that. So just make sure you're being extra intentional about writing it down and using it to go. Okay, so now tracking. So the last one is everyone tracking. Have you discovered anything by tracking? Are you seeing the connection between the tracker and the scale? Tell me a little bit about that. And how are you tracking? Are you tracking paper pen? I'm a paper pen girl. Do you like the app? Tell me a little bit about that.
I'm finding that because I know I have to write it down, if I go to grab a snack or something, it makes me pause. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to write that down. Yep. So it is helping myself be accountable. And I am doing paper. Normally I like to do stuff in an app. I don't like carrying a journal. I hate journaling. I don't like carrying that stuff with me, but for this, I think I need to write it down so I can see it and it's in my face. I can just throw it in my purse and be on my way.
Did everyone see Lauren's amazing idea for the book? She went and got it, what's that one? Spiralized. I'm such a 2B girl. I was going to talk about spiralizer. What's that called?
Yeah, I mean, just, I think you said it right. Getting the spiral in it.
Yeah.
The game changer.
Easier to open. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So nice.
Yay.
Hold it.
So anybody else? I know Megan, this is your first night. Megan just joined today. So she was like, I have no idea what you guys are talking about. You'll get it, I promise. So yeah, so tracking is just so important, especially as we get into this and, you know, we're really kind of starting to troubleshoot where you might say, listen, I've been doing this quote unquote perfectly for a week and I just can't figure out what is not happening. Then we can open up that tracker and we'll be able to base off of how detailed. So if you just say I had chips, I'm not going to know what that means. You know, you're not going to know what that means. But if you say I had, you know, the serving of chips, or, you know, I just had French fries, or I just had this, or you got to make sure that you're as detailed as possible. If you want to see results, we got to know what those results are coming from, and everything does matter. So a teaspoon versus a tablespoon, it matters. Not that we're obsessing over that. You're allowed to have that tablespoon of, you know, whatever that is, but we just have to, it's going to help us be able to look at the big picture and evaluate. So make sure you're tracking as detailed as possible. Again, this is going to get, you know, more as a habit. It's probably maybe annoying to do at first. You're like, oh gosh, I have to write this all down. 5 minutes, take 5 minutes. It can be after each time you eat, or you can wait till the end of the day, you know, or the morning of, like Gabby said, having it at a certain place where you take that time and you just quick write down everything that you ate. We have time. We scroll social media for how many minutes a day. We can take 5 minutes and track what we ate that day for your accountability, and so that I can, you know, be able to help you if it comes down to that. So track as much as possible. How about the food groups? When we talk about the food groups, everybody understand kind of why everything is what it is and where it is? You guys good with that? All right. Let's see. And then we have plate it. So breakfast, anyone know at the top of your head, how do we plate for breakfast? 50
FFC.
50% fiber-filled carbs, 50% protein. So many different ways to go about those fiber-filled carbs. You can get them from, you know, fruit. You can get them from sweet potatoes. You get to choose. And then your protein come from eggs. It can come from meat, and kind of going from there. So that's breakfast. And then lunch, we're going to do half veggies, quarter protein, quarter fiber-filled carb, and then dinner is 75% veggies most, and a little bit of protein as well. And I love that. I never really thought about some of the things are just eye-opening. It's like, yeah, you're right. I don't necessarily need energy before I go to bed. I don't need to have carbs. Now, again, you're going to figure out your body. If having carbs at night doesn't affect your weight or, doesn't make you feel any differently, then you can choose to do that. But it's just the principles of understanding, yes, carbs are for energy, and I don't need energy before I go to bed. So I'm going to have my carbs, right? We're not like restricting crazy. I'm going to have them. I'm going to make, good choices on them, but they're going to be earlier in the day so I can use that energy to fuel me throughout the rest of the day. All right. So
Patrice, I might have a silly question, but I've pretty much been following the recipes. So when it says 50% or 75%, I go by the recipe. So what if I don't? So is the best way to do it is to actually visualize the food on the plate to get the percentages? I was a little confused about that. Is that a silly question?
Yeah, so kind of based off of a recipe, you mean? Like, how do you?
Yeah, so I've been using the recipes in the book. So let's say for breakfast, lunch or dinner, if it's 50, 75%, I follow whatever the recipe says. Mm-hmm. But what if I, let's say, wanted to make a sandwich on my own? How would I gauge that percentage for the different food categories?
So I literally just plate it. So I put it out on my plate. You want to just make sure that if you have a stack of something, it's like some brown rice or some quinoa or something that you can kind of put it down with a fork, but it's literally the plate it method. So you put your, we like the saying, open face is a happy face. So when you make a sandwich, maybe you just have one slice of bread instead of two. And so you have that sandwich there, and then your protein, whatever that is, your lunch meat or, your turkey burger, whatever it is going to count as your protein. And usually for protein, it's about the size of your fist. More so eyeballing it versus like having it down to a science, and just basing it off of your plate. So I like to just kind of pat things down and spread it out a little bit. It's not like, oh, look, here's my quarter of my rice, and it's like all the way up here. But kind of mapping it out, spreading it out that way. And yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. So this was just a little bit of a recap week, a welcome week. Again, Sunday, we're going to kind of get into setting up for the week. And then our next week, we are going to be talking about mindset. So a lot of Alana's tips on mindset, kind of having that positive mindset that's going to lead to positive results. But then also mindset from God's perspective, renewing our mind, taking our thoughts captives and things like that. We know that's going to be the foundation of all of this. We're going to talk about emotional eating. We're going to talk about treating versus cheating and what that really means, and share some recipes, and then have another community call. So I'm really excited for next week. Hopefully you guys are just really getting into the habit of living this thing out and making it, making it work for you. So does anybody have any other questions before I pray and let us go? Go ahead, Gabby.
I do. So the dinner and done is hard. Maybe it's because I'm nursing. So I find myself really wanting a snack towards the end of the night because she tends to mostly nurse at night. So I've been debating, with the dinner and done, I almost got up and I was like, okay, should I just grab a bunch of bell peppers? But I'm not sure where the flexibility is. Like, how hard is it on the dinner and done?
Yeah. So number one, it's going to come from kind of tracking and seeing how it affects you the next day. But number one, you're nursing a baby, right? We got to eat to have energy to sustain the life that you're feeding. So that's number one. So again, this is tweakable to kind of your season and your needs. But there is have you heard her More Sure model? So the More Sure model is, do I want more? Sure, you can have more, but we're going to start and kind of redo our cycle. So you're going to start first with water. I'm so hungry. All right, I'm going to drink some more water. As a nursing mama, you have to make sure you're getting, more water than you even need to give yourself what you need. So we'll go for More Sure. So first we'll start with water. The second thing we'll do is go for veggies. So yes, grab some bell peppers, snack on those, some cucumbers, some carrots, snack on that. And then if you're still hungry, More Sure, all right, I'm going to grab some protein. So you just kind of go through our natural order of things. And I love that. it's like nothing's off limits. Nobody's telling you you can't have it. I don't know about you, but I get rebellious sometimes where I'm like, don't tell me I can't have that cookie. I want that cookie now. So you just decide. You get to decide. Here you go. There's a little, if you look in your tracker book, there's an actual.
I remember it from the videos. I had forgotten it, but now that you say it, I'm like, oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I think when she said dinner and done, I was like, oh, that's black and white. Yeah. But I've been waking up starving, so I will try that and see what happens.
Especially nursing, you definitely don't want that. So go for the more shore. Okay. So more shore. You want more? Sure. But we're gonna go through. I don't even know if you could tell. We're gonna start with water first. Still hungry, you're gonna add some more veggies. Still hungry, go for protein, then go for fiber-filled carbs. This is a great thing to implement if you're out too, like at a party or some kind of social gathering where you're like, oh my gosh, there's so many foods, so many choices, and I cannot wait to talk about the 5 stages of hunger. They blew my mind. We're gonna get there in a couple weeks. But if you're out at a party, we have the 2 hands on the wheel. I love these little sayings, 2 hands on the wheel. So keep your hands maybe on some tea or on your water bottle so you don't feel like you have to go grab everything. Again, it's not about starvation or restriction though. So if you're like, I'm genuinely hungry, have something, have some water first, then have some veggies. If you're so hungry, continue to go through that model. So that'll become kind of second nature as well. Does that answer that question? Good. Anything else? Any other questions, concerns? Hi, Alicia. Bible study. Good. It was Bible study, right? No. You had a call. A call, right?
Yeah. I was doing the MLP Couples Academy.
How was it?
Tonight. It was good. It was just an introduction. And I was like, oh, I need to jump on my other call real quick.
Oh, love it.
Sorry, I missed it.
All right. No, you're fine. We did a recap, a little welcome, some expectations. I have the recording, so I can send that. I'll post that in our group for anyone that wants to catch up. And so just keep showing up every single day. It's going to help you stay accountable. It's going to help me hold you accountable. And at least once a day, share something in the groups that I know you're in there with us. And we'll kind of go through calendars for Sunday night at 8:30. We'll have our next call, and we'll really start for that next week. So talk about mindset and some things like that. All right. I'm excited. I'm going to go ahead and pray us out of here. Lord, thank you so much for every single woman. I'm going to go ahead and mute this. There we go. Thank you so much for every woman that is a part of this group, Lord. Thank you for bringing us all together, uniting us together. I know that there is a specific reason that you have each person as a part of this group. You know their deep, dark struggles, Lord. You know their needs. You know their areas that maybe they thought they surrendered them to you, but deep down they just keep, taking it back. Lord, help this be the thing that you use to really help them trust you, not just a little bit, not just sometimes, not just when it's easy, Lord, but full, complete surrender, because we know that true transformation comes only from you. But we got to give you the space to do it. You're asking us, your arms are open, you're ready to help transform us, Lord, but we can't do it on our own, and that's our nature. We want to try do it on our own strength, Lord. So just continue to show us those areas that we need to lay down. And so that you just use this as an incredible tool to draw us closer to you. So I'm so thankful for your love for us. Thank you for being really willing to change us and loving us enough to not leave us stuck where we are. Thank you for community. I thank you for this opportunity to get together and literally walk this journey out together as sisters, or holding each other's arms up when it gets hard. Being there to encourage one another and show each other that, we're all in this together. So I thank you for what you're going to do next, not just the 3 weeks of this group that's left, 3.5 weeks, Lord, but forever. This is a forever type of thing. We're not doing some diet. We're not restricting ourselves, or instead we are literally walking in that freedom. But help us not to abuse the freedom either. Just because we can have something, just because something's permissible for us, does not necessarily mean it's beneficial, Lord. So just show us what that means in every situation. Help us to trust you in every situation. Something that I love to do is literally not just, do I need this eating opportunity, like Alana says, but also like, Lord, is it something that I need, or do I want you more than I want this thing? And really put it to that perspective, Lord, and letting you guide us in every single choice that we make. So we love you. We give you our everything tonight, especially our nutrition journey, and we're excited to see what you're going to do over this next few weeks and on to the future. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right. Love you, girls. Hey, we're going to take a picture because you all know me, so it's not surprising, right? All right. Jennifer, do you want to show your face? You don't have to if you don't want to. All right. 1, 2, 3. All right. I will see you in
I actually messed up. I hit something. I flew through too quickly, so it won't let me turn my camera on now. Apparently I have to go to settings. So next time I'll be there.
It's all right. I saw your check-in today, so you're good. All right. So see you in the app once a day. Show me something. So I will see you in the morning. I'm going to post my cauliflower fried rice that I just made. That was actually really good. All right. Good night.
I actually made that yesterday. It's so good.
It is so good. And I did 2 eggs on the side. And I didn't burn it.
I did mine on top, actually, and a little sesame oil, and I could literally eat that every day, I think, until I get sick of it.
So filling. Like, you really find that, like, eating a lot of veggies fills you up, you know? So.
Yeah.
Loving it. All right, ladies, thanks for hopping on. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.